Merry meet everyone. This is Anastasia Autumnfire, and I just wanted to put up a video. I feel compelled to make a couple of videos, but I wanted to get this one up, especially since Self-Love September is chugging along, and I don't feel like I've done half as much as I wanted to do for it, at least not publicly. And I think it is such a huge concept, for lack of a better phrase, that it should be shared and should be out there for everyone to kind of partake in, and us to learn from each other, and us to kind of not gain each other's power, but, you know, just kind of feel empowered by what we're all doing, if that makes sense. I've been working a lot of, I don't want to say shadow work per se, but I've been paying attention to a lot of ill feelings that I have concerning myself ever since I had that horrible weekend to kick off Self-Love September. And I realized last week was supposed to be my second video for my journaling, and it kind of got swept up because of a wedding that my daughter and I were in. So this is kind of that journal entry, and I'm gonna call it, because I do like naming things, it's so much fun, I'm gonna call it acceptance along my path. So much about my spiritual working, I realize, hinges on acceptance. My want for it, my concern that it's not there. I feel like, well, I can speak for myself. I myself have always kind of been an outsider. I've never really fit in, and to force myself to fit in, I used to lie a lot and kind of chisel my way into something that I wasn't. There's no way in Hades that anything that I reflected in the past was me. And I'll go through life and going through those modes, and then all of a sudden I'll just hit a wall and be like, what am I doing? This is so far away from me, and this is so alien to me. I don't know how to relate to this. I don't know how to continue this, and it all unravels, and I'm lost. So utterly lost. And with that, then you begin to doubt everything. And the decisions have always been my own. Whenever I've lied or done something not honorable, that's wrong, honorable, it's always easy to blame someone else, but I've always been that type of person where, hey, I did this. This is my thing. I need to take responsibility. I chose to act like I was this, that, and the other thing, instead of just saying, dude, this is me. If you don't like it, too bad. And I need to deal with the consequences. So, and I've always kept that up. I struggle with people that don't take responsibility for their own stuff. I understand there's always reasons, there's always a backstory that you don't know, but at a very young age, I learned everyone has their plight, everyone has their own, excuse my language, but this is how it is, everyone has their own shit to deal with. And you can deal with it and move on, or you can deny it and blame everyone else and continue to carry it with you. And I've definitely done the whole blame someone else and carried it with me for a bit, but I've learned at a very young age that just, it doesn't work. You're never free of it. And not only are you never free of it, but now you've dragged down other people because of it. And that's not conducive or productive. So what's the point? So anyway, so I guess that's a good thing, even though I've been inauthentic and done even more unhonorable or dishonorable things to try to continue my my charade, for lack of a better phrase. That's a little bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. To be accepted, I would put on personas that were not true. And when they did fall apart, I would take ownership of it and responsibility for it, and I would be like, yep, nope, I own it, I did it, my bad. But, and I would learn from it, but it would take me so far away from my path. Like, I look at where I am right now in my spiritual path, and I'm really proud of the work that I've done in the last couple of years and the steps I've taken in the last couple of years. Hell, that I'm taking now. I'm in a seeker class at Eye of Horus in Minneapolis, and it's terrifying. I'm horrible with people in real life. Oh my gosh. Having someone in front of me and like having to interact with them via the internet is scary. And I don't even know who's watching or if anyone's watching. This is something that I put out into the universe and hope that it gets a good response. Even if it never comes back to me, just that someone watches it and goes, dude, totally connect with that. That makes sense. And maybe it helps someone else. I know it helps me. It's very helpful. Not only with my magical practice, but also with my evolution within myself, if that makes sense. But to actually be face to face with a person, so intimidating. So I at the risk of sounding egotistical, I'm very proud of myself for what I have done and the steps I have taken. Yet I still crave that acceptance from other people. I still look for other people to validate me. And I don't know why necessarily. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase things. I'm sorry. I'm kind of a one-shot girl and then put it up online. I don't know a whole lot about editing, so just bear with me. We'll get there. I don't know why it is that when I can look at my life, on my spiritual path at least, and say, you know, I'm feeling good. I'm continuing to learn with my God and Goddess. I'm, you know, crafting things and feeling a connection to them, and I'm getting inspiration for new crafts and getting super excited about it, which is really where my connection to divinity lies, I think. I'm learning new things every day, even online or in my readings, and even last night my matron goddess Hel showed me yet another side to her that I hadn't really felt before, and it was awesome and amazing. And that's another video I'm going to make, don't worry. But it's a little saddening, and for me it gets very frustrating because I'm quick to frustration, that though I can look at my path and say all this and say, you know, for once, I am on my path, and I'm not being distracted by shiny baubles. I'm not going, oh, but I really want this group of people to like me and try to become something I'm not, just to be accepted and to be one of the crowd. But I'm staying true to my path, and yet there's still always someone that you look at and go, oh, I really want you to like this, or like me, or appreciate this, or, you know, for us to connect on this level. And I know that kind of sounds stalkerish, and I don't mean it to, because it's so not that drama, but it just floors me that for every step I take, and for every I don't want to I've got Breath You Take by The Police in my head now. I'll be watching you. Sorry, got lyrics going on. It just astonishes me, though, that for every time I take a step forward and think, I'm doing good, there's always someone that I look at and go, I want you to accept this. I want you to notice this. And I think it goes back to our childhoods. I think it goes back to, you know, unconscious or subconscious wishes that we might have that we aren't really aware of. For me, I definitely think it's connected to my childhood and past regrets and all that jazz that are probably personal and y'all don't really want to know about or hear about. But I realize I've been rambly this video, and I apologize for that. I just felt really pushed to do this, just in case someone else is on their path, maybe a newbie witch, maybe an older witch who, you know your stuff, and you keep getting tripped up by this need for acceptance. It's easy to say, F you, I'm awesome. If you don't like that, too bad. I can't stand when people act like that at times. If you're that far along in your workings, that's awesome. You know, if you can look at yourself and say, I know I'm this, that, and the other thing, and if you don't see that, then it's your loss, and truly mean it, holy cow, that's awesome, that's amazing. I want to hug you and tell you you are truly, truly blessed. Because I think for a lot of us, it's an everyday struggle. And it can go from the superficial to the very deep. You know, it's easy enough for me to say, gosh, I wish I was so-and-so because she's so thin and pretty and this and that and the other thing. But then it goes into other levels of, gosh, they're so intellectual. Gosh, they're so intimidating because they know this, that, and the other thing. You know, wow, they're really well-spoken. They're, you know, being ladylike for some reason with me is a very big thing, and I'm so not. But I think there's always things we aspire to be and always things that we kind of fall short of. But and although I think we can accept that, the need for acceptance, the need for connection is so huge. I think that's why a lot of us go to YouTube and go to Facebook, especially in the witchy community, because we're all, I don't want to speak for everyone, but for myself at least, I'm already an outsider. I already know what my beliefs are so not what anyone else that I work with. I'm very much in the broom closet at work. You know, they're not going to agree with my view on the world. And so I'm already an outsider. So I come to my witchy community and I want to find connections. I want to grow roots. I want to have a group that I kind of have a niche in or a connection to. And there are times when you look at things and you go, I'm not. I don't have these roots. I don't have this connection. You know, I'm putting effort and time into all of this working and nothing's coming to fruition. There is no manifestation. There is no, I'm just white noise. Don't give in to those thoughts. It's easy to do. Take a step back, take a break. I was starting to fall into that pitfall on Sunday. I think it was probably Saturday night, but I don't remember what it was, but something hit me and I felt completely disheartened. I have a YouTube channel and I've actually got subscribers. Holy cow, I love you all, by the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. People that watch and like and comment and subscribe, I cannot thank you enough. I cannot tell you enough how much that means to me. Like, just that there's people out there that listen to my rambling, but also might get something from it, you know? But, I digress. I just felt a need to thank you. But, I was there Saturday night. Just for some reason I felt completely inept and completely just undone. Like, I didn't know what I was doing with my path. I didn't know what I was doing with, I don't think it got as dramatic as my life, but magically speaking and pagan community wise and witchiness wise, I just kind of felt adrift suddenly. And I think it was because I had so much stuff going on in my mundane life and I was still trying to squeeze in the magical, and it was getting to be an overload. And I started to feel myself shift. I started to feel that spiral begin to happen where self-doubt creeps in and you start going round and round, and suddenly everything is just nothingness, and it encompasses you and you don't know which way is up and which way is down. If that makes sense to anyone, I'm so grateful that someone else knows what I mean and I'm not just speaking gibberish. But in the same breath, if you know what that means, it sucks, right? And I felt myself on that precipice. I felt myself going down that road. And I just said, no, I just need to take a step back. I just need to take a breather, get through the next couple of days, and pick up again. I think so often when I wasn't finding acceptance on my path, when I wasn't feeling like I was part of something, I would veer from my path looking for that acceptance elsewhere, even if it meant I was being ingenuine. And I'm now at a point in my life where I'm no longer needing to stray from my path, where I no longer need to act like I'm anything other than I am. I don't need to go shouting from the rooftops, I'm a witch. And I certainly am in the broom closet for quite a few people, but I don't need to act like I'm something I'm not. I still crave acceptance. I still want that acceptance. But I'm finally at the point where I'm not going to change who I am to get that acceptance. And I'm okay with that. If I have at least one person that I can count amongst my friends, or one person that I can relate to. I mean, I want more, but it's good. And I'd rather have that, a small connection that runs deep with people, than have this wide network of, acquaintances that don't really mean a whole lot to me, or vice versa. It's an awful thing to go through life killing yourself to try to please other people when they don't give a crap about you one way or the other. And that's who I used to be. And from time to time I still slip up and do stupid things like that. But when you're on your path, just live your life, just walk it. Don't be distracted by shiny baubles of friendship and acceptance where that isn't a thing. There are people that I have in my life that will never accept my pagan view, and they will never accept that I'm a witch, and they will always have something negative to say about that, because that's how the world is. And in the same breath, I know pagans that will never look at a Christian the right way because they're a Christian and they did X, Y, and Z to my people in the past. Well, okay, yeah, we could go back and forth all day long over who's wronged who and who's done what to who. And by all means, learn from the past. Carry the past with you enough to learn from it. But don't keep it with you so much that you resent everyone for it. Because there's no growth there, there's no jump off point there. It's just stagnant. And if it's just stagnant, there's just nothing left. There's nowhere to go with it. And I don't think any of us want a life that has stagnancy in it. I've really gotten off subject. I apologize. All in all, the second week of Self-Love September really showed me a lesson in just how far I've come with acceptance. Personal acceptance, meaning how I crave it from others. It's still a thing. I still want it. But I'm not going to change or alter myself for it. And that's pretty freaking cool. And if you're on your path and you're worried, oh, so-and-so might not accept this about me, I get being in a broom closet. Trust me, most of my family has no idea that this is my path. The couple of people that do know, I know my sister, at least, she makes jokes about it from time to time. And it's just a thing, you know? It's just how it is. And it's hard to deal with. It sucks. But in the same breath, it's how it is. And there's nothing I can do to change someone else's perception on it. I can live my life, and hopefully they'll see that, wow, I'm not some crazy person looking to decapitate bats and drink their blood. But being in the broom closet isn't the same as being inauthentic. Being inauthentic isn't, I know you're going to be prejudiced against me if I tell you I'm a pagan, so I'm not going to bring it up. Being inauthentic is, oh no, I go to church every Sunday, or oh no, I don't believe in anything. We shouldn't have to lie about who we are to gain love and friendship and connection from people. We should be able to just be us. And if someone asks us about our religion, you know, there's nothing wrong, I think, in just saying, you know, I'd rather just not talk about it. What's wrong with that? And the minute you start feeling like you're doubting yourself because you worry that X, Y, and Z aren't accepting you, and you really want them to like you, and you really want them to be into what you're doing, take a step back, reprioritize, gain perspective, look at what you're trying to accomplish with your workings, with your path, with your dealings, and then reapproach it. And I just do. I guarantee you, after you reprioritize things and reanalyze things, if you go back to the case at hand, there it is, you'll see, although it would be really nice for X, Y, and Z to accept you or to be into this, it isn't needed. You can do what you truly want to do with your path, with your life. Is a bit dramatic, but it works. You can do everything you want to do without anyone else's acceptance. You need support, I get that. But someone supports you. Someone always supports you. If nothing else, dude, I support you. I mean, as long as you're not harming anyone, our paths might not be the same. You might think one way, I might think another. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I'm cool with you. And that should be how everything is, but it's not. But we know that about this world. So let's accept that about this world. That it's not a perfect place, that there's going to be times people aren't going to agree with us, that there's going to be subjects that are a little touchy and we don't really want to get into them, and let's move on. And focus on what we can change, focus on what we can do. I think we get stuck in the inertia of, well, so-and-so won't let me play with them. I know I do. Oh my Lanta, do I ever. I want so-and-so to like me and to be a part of what I'm doing because I think they're awesome. And then when I don't get this reaction that I'm looking for out of them, well, there's no point in me even trying to do this because they don't like this and blah, blah, blah. Dude, I like this. I think this is a cool idea. Why am I not just doing it on my own? Anyway, this has become a much longer video than I anticipated. But yeah. After a rambling session, those are my findings for the second week of, for last week of Self-Love September. It was very reaffirming. It was definitely one of joy, because when I started to have hiccups, when I started to kind of feel myself faltering and feel myself going down that shame spiral again, I was smart enough to step back and reevaluate things and realized, what the heck am I doing? I don't need to do this. I'm good. And so are you, so be good. Anyway, I'm gonna let this be it for now. Like I said, I've got so many crafts I need to do. I've got so many videos I want to make. things are kind of crazy as always in my house right now, so I might be slow getting them up, but I'm still very much here, and I'd love for, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, like the video, comment. I'm always here. Message. I have little to no life. No. Just thanks, guys. And as always, blessed be, and have a wonderful day. See ya.